Good evening. Let's begin with a quote. "I work now as I have always worked, with my face into the wind. I'm only an instrument that God is using for the moment. Afterwards, things will be as God wants them." Alexander Men. You may not recognize this name. After all, who would expect a young priest from the farthest place of Siberia would become the ruler of all Russia? Beginning as a peasant rebellion in the Far East, nobody could have imagined the Mandate's rise to power, but this young priest, Alexander Men, has accomplished the impossible. Organizing his state as almost anarchist, Men's ideology is a paradox, a devout Christian and preacher, and yet his state seems to be equally tolerant of all minority, religious, and ethnic groups. Even in this brutal struggle for unification against other warlords, Alexander Men has demonstrated unimaginable benevolence equal to a saint. In the recent global best-selling book, A Tsar in a Hard Place, by Australian and member of the Romanov family, Michael Andreevich was pardoned by Alexander Men and was allowed to return to Australia after the White Army remnant in Chita that abducted him was defeated. Never have I met a man with such benevolence. He was a saint. However, even the most benevolent man cannot accept pure evil. As Men's troops seized Vyatka last week, the gruesome regime under Regent Sergei Taboritsky would finally be put to rest. The mad regent was declared as the Antichrist and was promptly sentenced to death by hanging. Incredibly isolationist, no diplomatic ties have yet been forged with this new Russia, leaving many to speculate just how it will affect the balance of the Cold War. However, after a series of negotiations, the father, Alexander Men, has agreed to an interview with the 60 Minutes crew led by Mike Wallace.
In case you haven't been following the news, Russia is now unified under a priest, proclaiming himself to be the father. Considering all the false names and evil the many warlord states of Russia holds, it's surprising to see that someone lives up to their name. A 60 Minutes interview crew has traveled deep into Russia for a chance to interview this holy father. How would one conquer evil with kindness, hardship with faith? Where I'm from, America, there's also many people who believe in God. What would you say is your take on religion? What do you believe in?
It has long been noticed that intolerance, fanaticism, be it religious or atheistic, is a manifestation not so much of faith as of uncertainty. When a person doubts that he is right, when he feels the precariousness of his position, he is often tempted to use fist methods of proof in order to establish himself and silence others. Intolerance is a kind of mental illness capable of perverting any, even the brightest idea. But fanaticism has an antipode that is no more beautiful than it is. Let us recall the words of the preacher from the Comedians who spoke about the sin of indifference. It is indifference, lack of spirituality, or, as Berdyaev put it, spiritual bourgeoisness, that creates that obedient and mute panurge herd of conformists, about which Pushkin wrote angrily. It is the true antagonist of Christianity, more dangerous to the faith than tyranny, and even more so, honest atheism.
It seems that you don't want to make any enemies, is that true? So, why not just be friends? Why? Why keep Russia isolated from the outside world?
You're right. After all, having passed my way through Russia, I saw many troubles. Wars, poverty, and deprivation, various manifestations of the carnal. But a person consists not only of flesh and bones. It has a spirit, feelings, faith, hope, everything that cannot be bombarded with ideology or slogans. There are two main commandments, love for God and love for man. And even if a person does not believe in God, he infinitely feels the great mystery of our universe, which governs the entire universe. And the beauty of this mystery permeates everyone, and is also infinitely reflected in each of us. How not to love it, because it is life itself. Everything is beautiful. As you know, the 20th century turned out to be a difficult series of trials for Russia, especially for faith. But the millennium of Russian history threw off this long polar night, emphasizing the triumph of the Orthodox faith. This emphasis has been achieved in long battles, and now peace is coming to the lands of God's dominion over Russia And we are ready to defend this with all worldly forces. After all, only through its acceptance will humanity enter a new era of spiritual transformation, from the realm of necessity into the realm of freedom. We are not alone in this mission, and our spaces are open to everyone who honors our ideals.
Germany, I don't think I need to ask more. What is your plan?
Yes, the news about the actions of Germany responds with noticeable anxiousness in me. A country as far removed from the faith as the appetites of its ruler extend. But as has been said before, our country has emerged from the long night. People remember what a hard life they had, and now they are all ready to defend their newfound happiness with all their might. From small to large, may the Lord help us.
After more than 30 years, Russia has finally found peace. However, the drums of war now echoes over Europe again. With increasing aggression from Goering's Germany, will benevolence triumph again? Only time will tell. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth.